Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's talk a little bit about the stocks on the move today here in Europe. I'm Caroline Hepker and I'm joined by our breaking news editor, Louise Moon. Louise, good to speak to you. Let's drill down into some of the gains that we're seeing in the mining space this morning, even though the overall European market is down.
Indeed, yes. So mining stocks are really gaining from this rally in commodities that we're seeing. So gold, silver, copper, all hitting record highs. You know, copper's approaching $12,000 a ton, and mining stocks are gaining on the back of this, particularly those with quite significant exposure to copper. So the likes of, in London, BHP, Rio Tinto, Anglo American, all higher on the back of this. And if you look at the FTSE 100, you know, mining stocks as a whole are leading the index. So really rallying on the back of that commodities gains.
Okay, so that's interesting. We're also milking you for stocks news. You're looking at EU dairy giants. Why?
Well, so China has imposed duties on certain dairy products that are being imported from Europe. So these duties are up to 42.7%. So pretty high. And that's after they had a probe into the sector and found that they found that, some of these dairy products were subsidized, the ones that are being imported from Europe. So this is going to be imposed from tomorrow. And it's kind of the latest in a bit of a tit for tat trade dispute between China and the EU. So if you look at the Chinese side of things, their related stocks are doing well on the back of this news. But obviously, if you look at the likes of Danone, Nestle in Europe, both are very exposed to the Chinese market, both down on the back of this. So Danone more so, about 1.5% last time I checked, just a minute ago, and Nestle also down almost 1% as well. So both into the red on the back of those duties that will be imposed from China as of tomorrow.
Yeah, there's been a real tit for tat, hasn't there, between the EU and China. The EU in October imposing tariffs on electric vehicles from China as high as 45%. So now there's dairy tariffs going the other way. Okay, we also mentioned the other commodities that are gaining, and that is oil. And you have Harbour, which is a big UK oil company, looking abroad. Tell us a bit about that story.
It is, yeah. So it's one of the largest oil and gas companies, one of the largest producers in the UK North Sea. So a big player on this side of the pond. They announced a big deal this morning. So they're buying a company that's called LLOG Exploration. That's for $3.2 billion US. So 2.7 billion will be in cash and then 500 million in voting shares. So this company is it's oil and gas company in the US Gulf of Mexico. So this, as you say, this is Harbour Energy expanding more abroad. They've been adding operations abroad, you know, as the North Sea goes into decline. There's high taxes, high windfall taxes from the UK government. There's been a lot of consolidation in the space, and they've been establishing more units away from that. So the likes of Norway and Argentina as well. So this is their entry into the US Gulf of Mexico. So that's expected to complete in the first quarter of next year, of 2026. So, I mean, on the face of it, it looks quite positive. And there was also a note from Bloomberg Intelligence saying, you know, there's strong strategic rationale for this. It delivers a bit of a portfolio rebalancing, as I kind of mentioned, towards the Gulf of Mexico, which offers higher margins, you know, reduces that exposure to the UK. So all of those factors. But if you look at their stock, it was actually down on the news, down about 7% into the red, and traders are saying this could be to do with the size of the debt they're taking on to finance this deal. So we'll be watching for any more details or you know how the stock continues to react from that. But it's a play from Harbour Energy out of the UK, pushing and diversifying their portfolio more.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.